Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the College Football Show Week 8 Closing Lines Show. Hopefully everybody has had a good weekend thus far. It is still early, we understand. But hopefully all of your bets from Friday night cashed, from Thursday night, etc. Mine from Thursday did not at all. Good gracious, Arkansas State. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, I'm 1-2 on the weekend so far. I thought I was going to go into today 2-1, but that's all right.
It happens. It happens.
Put my stink on UAB and it broke my heart.
Let's go through the rundown right quick. If you would so kindly do us a favor, go ahead and like the video. Like the video and make sure that you share it out. Make sure you're subscribed, all that good stuff. We got a lot of guys that are jumping in the chat already. We've had King asking what the lock is already. Look, I'll go ahead and tell you. I don't know what the lock is at this point. Things are the first 5 games of this card this week have been very different from what I expected. Maybe not very different, but there's just some crazy stuff going on. KCK jumps in, talks about Purdue money line, Minnesota money line, Cincy money line. AJ Fam 871 said Air Force -7. You know, all this stuff. And Cody Ashworth is jumping in. He is all over you, my brother. He said this is Chris's week. Yeah,
I hope he's right. I got a lot of teams I like a lot, and it's a little scary out there.
Yeah, now you got that right. King said you guys should start an hour earlier so I don't have to watch other shows. Hey, sorry, brother. This is how it runs. So we do appreciate you being here, though, for sure. So let's go ahead and dive into sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. We got a great team over there. Our articles for the week are over there. You can read both of ours every single week. I believe it goes up on Thursday. But we have articles and content all week long, every single week. Deep dives into games. We got the best crew in the world. I'm telling you, sportsbookreview.com, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF is where you want to be. Also, go ahead and let you guys in on a little secret. If you like winning money, you can go over to sbrpicks.com/pick6. That is PICK and the number 6. You can find the link down in the description. That is our Pick 6 contest. You can enter it for free. You can win up to $1,700 in cash prizes every single week. And that's betting on NFL games or picking NFL games and college football games. And all you do is go to that site right there, sbrpicks.com/pick6. Sign up there, and you can win your share of a bunch of cash prizes. It's pretty awesome. Also, if we do not get to your games, you see our little handles right there on the screen, at Gary WCE on Twitter for me. Chris?
I'm at Chris B. Giannini. Somebody hit me up, asked me if I still loved UAB now that it got to 3 yesterday. I told them I'm riding with Bill Clark. They were dominating the football game. Dominating a loose term. They were winning the football game the entire time until the very end. Lost by 4.
You got that right. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. But that's okay. That's okay. We're not going to worry about past issues, right? Because Arkansas, let's go ahead and talk about our recap right quick.
All right, come on.
Recap, and then we'll dive into our Tuesday picks, and then we'll jump into today's games. Thursday night, App State 45, Arkansas State 17. There were so many miscues in that ball game by Arkansas State. I was livid.
But hang on now, you're only watching one side of that.
I know.
App State had miscues too. App State turned the ball over, 3 times in that game too?
Multiple times.
So it's not like they played a clean game. They're just a better football team than Arkansas State.
Yes, they certainly were that night. Good.
We were on the dog, and the dog got bit. That happens.
It does happen sometimes. FIU last night at home loses to Jacksonville State 19-10. They only put up 165 yards of total offense. They were completely.
I don't know what is going on down there.
They've had a bunch of COVID issues, et cetera. That was not good. First FBS team to lose to an FCS team this year. That ain't the way you want to go out. So we might need to start looking at what Butch Davis is doing. Tulsa 42, USF 13. I think this is about what the majority of people expected. I thought maybe USF could keep this closer. I was curious how good Tulsa really is, and it looks like they might be pretty damn good. So Tulsa got that win. Louisiana, like you just talked about, we've kind of gone over this one. Louisiana wins 24-20 at UAB. First home loss since the reckoning for UAB and Bill Clark. And that was a hell of a football game.
It was a really good football game to watch. UAB was winning, leading the game the entire time, looking good, playing really good football, and they just had a great drive at the end that UAB couldn't stop, and it hurt. It hurt. I put my stink on Bill Clark. I shouldn't do that.
Finally, the Big Ten game of the night, Wisconsin beats up on Illinois 45.
This is the one I won.
Let me tell you this. Wisconsin has a quarterback. Graham Mertz is the deal, man. Like that absolutely shocked me. He was 20 out of 21 passing, had 5 touchdowns. They were never, ever in any kind of danger.
The one incompletion that he had was a drop. It was like a dump pass, like one of those weird little bubble half screen, but the guy was across the line of scrimmage, but nobody was around him, and the receiver just, tried to grab it and take off running too fast.
Yes.
I mean, he hit him like right in the chest with the football. So,
and their schedule sets up fairly easily. I mean, they got Michigan and they got Minnesota, but like the schedule set up almost perfect for them. They don't have Ohio State. This looks like Wisconsin, Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game.
I think so too. I would love one time for somebody to give Ohio State a ball game, but I don't know that it's going to happen this year. I'd love for it to happen though.
You might be right. What to say said, "Whoop, my favorite stream of the week. Let's go." That's what I'm talking about. We appreciate that. Let's go through our Tuesday picks right quick. So these are the picks that we gave out on Tuesday's show. These are where we have our money. That's what we've got right now. So I had Arkansas State plus 13.5, lost that one. However, today I've got Pitt plus 11. I've got Liberty minus 10. I've got Boston College minus 3. Oklahoma State minus 3.5. Virginia Tech, Wake Forest over 69. That one's actually gone down a little bit. And Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina over 51.5. Chris, you got your picks in front of you.
Yep, I got them. I got Florida State plus 5. You can now get plus 6. I've got Ole Miss plus 3.5. I got Ohio State minus 26. Probably can't get that anymore. Marshall minus 17. Houston minus 14. Baylor plus 9. That's now up to plus 11.5. And then Cincinnati plus 2.5.
Yeah, and are there any that you would want to jump off of?
Nope. Not a damn one. Ohio State right now is 27.5. I'm still it's not enough. It's just not enough.
You
and the one I'll tell you, the one that would give me just a smidge of concern is Houston is now 15.5. If I had to play the 15.5, I'd probably walk away from that game now that it's over 2 touchdowns. But I'm still riding with my 14. And there we go.
Well, there you go. All right, let's dive into the noon slate for today. Again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Go on and like the video. Make sure you are subscribed. We go live, and we've got our Monday opening line show. We've got our Tuesday picks / flagship show where we break down the biggest games of the week. And, of course, our closing line show, 11 a.m. Eastern time every Saturday morning. Make sure that you dive in here with us. We appreciate all of you being here. Diving into some of the comments right quick. I don't have this game as one of our games. Florida State, Louisville. You said you can get Florida State plus 6 right now.
You can get Florida State plus 6.
That you still feeling really good about that one, right?
I think they got a chance to win the football game. Yeah.
I think they do too.
I do not think Louisville is very good, and I think Florida State is getting better every week, and that's important.
We got some guys arguing Temple plus the points, taking under Memphis 70.5, and then another guy said, I love Memphis. So that game, I have no idea what to tell you. I will tell you this. Memphis is 0-5 against the spread all time against Temple.
That's what scares me.
Terrifies me.
That scares me.
And Temple has not looked good this year, but they've only
we always play Temple off of a really big game.
Yes, you're right about that. Cortez Baker said Tar Heel's going to blow NC State out. Kansas State over Kansas, name your spread. Yeah, Darren McCardle jumping in with Army minus 19.5. I mean, they're playing, I believe, Mercer this week. I ain't touching that. I don't know what to do with Army anymore.
I think they kill the bad teams, so I'd probably take Army in that.
Probably so. Troy Brown, Marshall minus 8.5, first half, stone cold lock. And then Nick jumps in, Tennessee plus 24. I mean, I don't know. And then we'll talk about there's a couple of guys, Caliph Peso jumping in about Nebraska and whatnot. Let's dive into the first game that we've got listed here. It's rotation 353, 354, and that is Auburn and Ole Miss. And the line opened at Auburn -5 with a total of 65. That total is out to 72 now. And obviously, go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Make sure that you are shopping your lines. Get the best line on the board for the way that you want to bet. That line is down to 3.5. You still rolling? You still like Ole Miss in this spot, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and I'll tell you this: it's kind of up a little bit more. It's more at 4 than it is 3.5.
Is it that changed on me in the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, there are more places where you can get 4 than 3.5. So I have it at 3.5. I'm happy with that. I'm not worried about it. I think Ole Miss is going to win the football game, Gary.
I mean, I could 100%. Anything that happens in this game, I could see happening. Right?
I don't see a blowout either way. Right. That's not true because I don't think either one of these defenses are slowing down either one of these offenses. So for one team to get up by 2 or 3 scores would shock the hell out of me.
Well, that's the only thing that would shock me. I think either team winning the game would not surprise me.
No, not at all. That's right.
The total going over would not surprise me in the slightest. However, if you have a game like you had against Arkansas last week, where
we're not going to have that.
We're not going to have that. That's what I'm saying is that would shock me. Let's see. KCK jumps in and says, I don't like Bo Nix at all, but Auburn wins this game and covers. Man, I don't know.
I'll tell you this. Bo Nix is going to look better this weekend than he has ever.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. He will be playing against air, basically.
Yes. He's going to look better this week than he's looked all last year and all this year. His personal stats are going to be fantastic. We're going to say, if they lose this game, this wasn't on Bo.
Well, I mean, we shall see. I'm excited about it. Nebraska and Ohio State, 341, 342. Ohio State opened a 24.5 favorite with a total of 64.5. Both of those numbers have gone up. It's Ohio State -27 at most places, and then a total of 69 right now. Nebraska on offense, you would like to think that they will be able to get some stuff done, especially with Ohio State not returning a whole lot on defense. And one thing that we have seen from pandemic football is offenses have the edge early. However, Urban Meyer said this week that all 11 of those guys on Ohio State's offense are being drafted in the NFL.
Yep.
That's going
it's
to
100% an NFL football team.
So you've got an NFL football team against a Nebraska defense that is kind of putrid. Like they're
going to turn those black shirts white.
So, like you still don't think 27 is enough. I love the first half line. I think I was able to get it at 13 earlier in the week.
That's great.
And
awesome.
Now it's sitting at that's going to hit. But now it's like 14.5 now. I mean, it's typical stuff.
It's still going to hit. And then whatever the second half line is, that's going to hit. Ohio State is in a race they're only competing against 2 other football teams in the country right now. That it's not Nebraska. It ain't Wisconsin. Okay. They're competing with Alabama and Clemson, who are killing people. All right. True. And so they have to kill people. They're only going to get 8 games to do that. All right. That's it. That's the list. So they have to destroy. Yeah, at best, they're going to get 8 games, and then the championship game, 9 games. At best, that's all they're going to have. We saw last year, you don't want to be 2 or 3. They got to find a way to destroy everybody that they can destroy, which I think they can destroy everybody on their schedule, and hope that Alabama looks weak in 1 or 2 games. Hope that Clemson looks weak in 1 or 2 games. They didn't look weak in the first only real test that they're going to have against Miami. So they are hoping and praying that Notre Dame football looks great one time this year.
One time.
That's it. But to be in the conversation for number 1, they got to murder people. They know that, which means they're not coming off the gas the whole season.
We got a bunch of guys jumping in the chat here. Go ahead and let you guys know. We will do a little Q&A at the end of the rundown. Any games that we did not hit, we will jump on them if you guys are asking for them. So we'll let you know. And some of these that y'all are asking about, Syracuse, etc., We'll be hitting those here momentarily. Moving on, let's jump into Oklahoma and TCU. It's 351, 352. The game's on ABC. Oklahoma opened a 5.5-point favorite with a total of 63.5. It is now Oklahoma minus 6.5 with a total of 58.5. This line going down kind of shocks me. I thought, because TCU can absolutely score. We've seen that. So, did any of this make sense to you?
Yeah, the spread getting bigger and the line going, the total going down is a little weird to me. I mean, I guess they think Oklahoma's going to kind of dominate and control this football game, which means TCU is going to stay on the sideline. They're not going to score as much. I got to see that, because I know that TCU is not a vaulted offense, but Oklahoma's defense, I mean, hell, they're worse than there. I mean, I think we talked about how bad Ole Miss's defense is. Ole Miss defense has at least gotten like a bunch of takeaways almost every game. Oklahoma's not close to that. Not close to that.
Yeah. I mean, they looked good for the first, 55 minutes against Texas, and then, is what it is. I mean, they only gave up 17 in the first 55 minutes, but then they give up 2 late touchdowns. It's just a wreck. Like, I don't trust the Oklahoma defense here. I'm all over. I think TCU in this spot. Like,
I love TCU now that the number's getting bigger. Love them, and I think I would take my shot at the over.
Yeah, you can get 7 at several spots.
Yeah,
so
7 is a number that's there more than 6.5, and with this being below 60, I would absolutely. Here's the thing: I think Oklahoma's offense is good enough to score 30 every game. Yeah. I don't know that they're good enough to stop anybody that's a Power 5 or a major G5 school from stopping not scoring 30.
I think you might be right. Let's move into the ACC. North Carolina State and North Carolina, battle of ranked foes. 2 teams that only have 1 loss apiece. And NC State, of course, Devin Leary, quarterback, out for this game. The line opened at 14.5. It jumped all the way up to 17 in favor of North Carolina.
Yep.
And now it's back down to 14.5. So I don't know.
Well, I don't see 14.5, but at a few places, it's 15 most places.
Okay, so it's back up to 15. See, I write this stuff down before we go on, so I'm not having to search all over the place.
It's about 50-50. I see 4 places at 14.5, 4 places at 15, and 1 at 16.
Okay, so but it's going back down, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world is happening. I don't know how to feel about this game. I think that North Carolina should be able to get the cover. Favorites in ranked matchups so far this year: 10-1 against the spread, 10-1 straight up. Like, a favorite in a ranked matchup is supposed to cover. So I would lean North Carolina, but I ain't touching this game.
It scares me. I'm with you. I'm very interested in watching this game and seeing how it plays out, but I don't have a feel for it either way. I think North Carolina's got a little bit of the butthole on fire, and they better come out like really flaming if they want to get back in this ACC race. But and then NC State's a little beat up. We got to see how good they are at the quarterback position. Can they keep up?
Yes, we do. Moving on, staying in the ACC, Syracuse and Clemson had several people asking about this game, so we want to go ahead and touch on it. Clemson opened minus 44.5. I think the biggest thing is this is such an anomaly. Like, you don't typically see 45-point lines in conference games. Total was 59.5. That has moved out to Clemson minus 46 with a total of 62.5. I would lean Syracuse here big time, and I've got them in a 7-point teaser as well. Because Clemson, what they did to Georgia Tech last week is not the norm. They did that to Georgia Tech because they were irritated about something that Georgia Tech did on their field last year. So they were taking it out on Georgia Tech this year, and they had the ability to do so. I don't think that they have that level of disrespect for Syracuse.
Yeah, I agree.
I think those guys get along. I think Dino and Dabo, which who would have ever thought we'd have a college football game that's got those 2 names, right? Dino and Dabo. But I think they kind of like each other. So I don't think they're going to beat them that badly. But maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
No, I think the only play I could make would be Syracuse. I'm obviously not. I'm not touching this game at all. But I just don't think. Here's the thing: we have a history this year in Dabo just not running it up on people. He's only done it to one team.
Yes, you are correct about that. Last noon game for us, Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina, 327, 328. Line opened at 4.5 and a total of 55.5. That is out to 5 now at most places, and a total of 51. So the total has gone down. I am on the over in this spot. I think we're going to be able to see points here. Both of these teams know how to score, and the defenses are good, not great. I'm all over the over on this one. Any thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I think Georgia Southern's the play here. For the first time, we talked about this Sunday night. We talked about it Tuesday night. The problem is Coastal Carolina is now the hunted, and they've never been that ever in the history of this career of this school. Have they been the team that people are gunning for and coming after? And now they are. And
it's a different mindset.
It's a different mindset, and you've got to attack the weak differently. And so look, I would, if I had, I'm not playing this game. If I had to play this game, I'm playing Georgia Southern.
Makes sense. Let's move it to the afternoon slate, and we'll try and speed things up pretty quickly here. Alabama and Tennessee, it's 319, 320 rotation numbers, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. Opened at Alabama minus 20. It is out to 21.5. Total of 64 has gone up to 66 now.
It's still climbing. It's 22 most places.
Is it? Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think Alabama is the only way that you can play in this spot right now. Have you seen anything from Tennessee that would lead you to believe that they will keep this game close?
No, but my only thing is this is always a weird game. The last couple of years, it's been a weird game, and I just feel like this could be a kitchen sink game. I am convinced that all of Saban's former coaches have a big pool, and whoever can beat them wins the prize. And I think it's just a game that Pruitt has circled every year. So I'm not touching it for the sole reason that we could have some weird bizarro world where Tennessee just comes out and finds a way to look good offensively and keep it close.
Yeah, you're right. I had a bunch of guys in the chat jumping in. Freshman quarterback is the truth for Coastal. FIFA champ said Coastal it is. Coastal is the real deal. Yeah, he said I can't let them being the hunted scare me. Coastal is the play. Like there's a lot of guys on Coastal, and I think that's the thing, right? Like there's a lot of Coastal love right now, and they are fantastic, man. They're a lot of fun.
They are. They're really good. They're really good, and they're now a touchdown favorite, and that's a lot.
Yes, it is. Baylor and Texas, 345, 346 rotation numbers. Texas opened 11.5. It went down to 9 at one point in the middle of the week. It is back out to like 10.5 at most.
That's 11.5.
It's bad. So it's jumped that far, huh?
Yep.
I'm glad I got you watching these lines. Good gracious. 65.5 was the total. It's down to 61-ish. Roundabout. Remember, shop your lines, sbrodds.com. I love Baylor in the spot. Like I don't think Texas should be a favorite by a touchdown over anybody in the Big 12.
Yeah.
So
not named Kansas. There's that one outlier, but here's the thing. Hell, last year,
Kansas
they wouldn't have covered a 3-point line against Kansas. So, maybe they shouldn't be that against them either.
Yeah, you're right. Play 94386 said the over is the play for Coastal. Maybe so. Maybe well, not even maybe. That's what I've got my money on.
Yeah, that's your play. Yeah.
I love that one. Purdue and Iowa. It's 343, 344. This game is in West Lafayette. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Big Ten Network. I love having these Big Ten totals back. We've got a total of 53.5 that has gone to 52, 53 in some spots. And so it's gone down. Purdue, obviously, no Jeff Brom this week and no Rondale Moore.
More is just as important as Jeff Brom. Whew.
Big time. Now they still got David Bell. Like they still got guys. But I don't know what to make of Iowa. They've got a stud quarterback that's coming in, but hadn't started the game. They've got the most skill talent that they have ever had, but they got their own issues going on inside that program. This is a weird game for me. It opened at 4.5 in favor of Iowa. It's down to 3.5. Like I would still probably lean Iowa because this is just the spot where they get these kind of wins.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, you have the best player on the other team and the head coach and play caller on the other team not showing up. This is an offensive team ran by an offensive genius that's not there without their best player. Everything looks like this should be Iowa, and it should be Iowa pretty big.
Yeah, I think I agree there. Moving on, Iowa State and Oklahoma State. This, to me, is the game of the day. 349, 350 rotation numbers. Oklahoma State opened a 4-point favorite with a total of 55.5. Both of those have gone down. It is now Oklahoma State minus 2.5. I was waiting all week. Now, I took it at minus 3.5. I've been waiting all week to see if it would get under a field goal. A lot of love for the Cyclones right now and Matt Campbell.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I think Gundy's got his number. I think this Oklahoma State, that team is the real deal. Spencer Sanders, I believe, is coming back this week. I think they are going to get this win in a fairly convincing fashion. I think they're just going to be the better football team. The total is at 52. That does make sense to me. Like, it would not have surprised me if this game ended up trending, north of 55.5 or south of 55.5. It wouldn't matter to me because I don't know any world where these two teams should have a total below 60. And yet they've both got really good defenses, and I don't know what to make of the offenses yet. So
that's it. Both these defenses have looked really good, just weirdly, because the Big 12 is not a defensive school, but conference, but they have been this year, these two teams, and neither of these offenses have looked great.
No. Now Brock Purdy has looked good in October, and he's trending in the right direction, but he's about to go up against a really stout defense.
Yeah, we think this Oklahoma State defense is good. I want Oklahoma State to get back to being the Oklahoma State I know and love with the crazy offense that puts up a lot of points. But you gotta get the team that you get. Okay. And
Bro Dibbles jumps in and said Oklahoma State defense is not for real. Casey J said Oklahoma State is just better. And then Aaron Pardee said, disagree with my guy Gary here. Hey, cheers to you. You guys roll the other direction. That is perfectly fine. I got no issue with it. I'm going to buy into the Gundy stuff. I think they're a better football team. I am rolling with it. From what I have seen on tape, that is the better football team, and it's in Stillwater tonight. It's going to be a good time. Moving on, Virginia Tech and Wake Forest jumping into the ACC. This is a 3:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPN 3. That's right. Thrice, my friend, the streaming service. The total in this game went from 70.5. It is down to 68.5 as we sit currently. And you can obviously shop for your lines. Make sure you do your due diligence. Opened at Virginia Tech minus 6.5. That is out to 10.5 now. I don't feel good about the 10.5. Maybe I should, because Virginia Tech is the stronger, more talented football team. But Wake Forest can score points. Like, I am all over this over. This is one of my big plays this week. I love the over 68.5 here because I think both teams will be able to score. Like, Wake Forest cannot stop the run, and Virginia Tech is going to kill them, like just on the ground. But I think Wake Forest is going to be able to score on Virginia Tech. So there will be points galore here.
Yeah, points galore. I don't like this number getting that big. I just looked at the total bets, and it's going up because everybody is picking Virginia Tech. That might be the play. Man, Wake Forest can score. I never like betting against a team with a prolific offense like that. Just, with a big spread. It scares me. They're always a garbage time touchdown away from covering. But you're right. Anything under 70, it's just crazy to me.
Bro Dibbles asked, how is the total dropping? It's going way over. There are a lot of people in games that involve teams like Virginia Tech, et cetera, where it's a principal play.
Yeah.
Like, that line hits 70, they are going under, and they just think, oh, it's ridiculous. Like, this is a completely different Virginia Tech team from what we've seen.
That's 100%. Justin Fuente is a different coach than what they had for 30 years. So
Aaron Pardee jumps in. He said, Virginia Tech, Wake over and the game. Aaron Pardee, yes. Gary, over. Hendon Hooker is electric. Smart. How's that?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. So, yes, 100%. 100% all over that. Notre Dame and Pitt, ACC matchup. It's kind of weird to have Notre Dame in a conference matchup, but Notre Dame opened at -9, and the total was 49.5, and it is now at Notre Dame -10 with a total of 43. So the line has dropped, or the total has dropped 63.5. I cannot talk. The total has dropped 6.5 points. The line itself has gone up a point. So they think that Pitt will not score and that Notre Dame will win by double digits. I am on the other side of this. The one thing Notre Dame does well is run the football. The one thing that, well, not the one thing, but the best thing that Pitt does is stop the run. They are the best in the country in yards per rush, period. They give up 1.6 yards per carry, and that's through 6 games. This isn't a small sample size.
Yeah, but it's 6 games against offenses that aren't great.
Yeah, but I don't think this Notre Dame offense is great.
Like the run game is great.
The run game is great, but
Notre Dame has put at least 1 or 2 offensive linemen into the NFL every year. All 5 of the men in the trenches, talked about in Ohio State, all 5 of these offensive linemen for Notre Dame are going to play on Sundays. That's what they've done for the last 7 to 8 years since Brian Kelly has been there. They have big, nasty, athletic dudes in the trenches.
Pitt has those same dudes.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Pitt does not have any NFL players on that front 7.
Against Miami last week, Pitt held that team 42 rushes. They averaged 2.6 yards per carry.
That's fine. That's Miami. That's not Notre Dame. Notre Dame's offensive line is better than that.
Do you think that Notre Dame is going to cover this line?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Yes, so we're head to head here because I am all over Pitt. I think they're going to keep this game within the number. I think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be a slog fest. Look, your boy Brian Kelly loves settling for field goals, same as Pat Narduzzi. I think that we can end up with like a 15-12 ball game here.
We're definitely going to get a low-scoring game. Until this total gets into the 30s, I would take the under.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Now, I'm not touching the under, but I am all over Pitt because I think it's going to be ugly, ugly football.
Now, the more I've thought about this, Pitt has stopped the run on everybody, but none of those teams run the football well. Okay. None of those teams run the football in a traditional pound it down your throat way. They all run it by speed and scheme because their offensive lines are small and athletic. They're not big and strong. And Notre Dame's offensive linemen are big, strong, and athletic. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Let's see. Bro Dibble said still not low enough. 10-3 Notre Dame win.
No, 100%. This line, and that's where I'm playing, is the under is the biggest play in the world for me. Penn State is not scoring double digits in this game.
Let's see. Chad Costanza said Notre Dame will score 24 plus easily.
They could. They could. That won't surprise me at all. Pitt won't get more than 10.
Okay. We shall see. Last game for the afternoon slate, Penn State and Indiana, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on FS1. Penn State opened a 7.5-point favorite with a total of 57, and it is now down to Penn State -6.5 with a total of 62. That's right. The total jumped 5 points, and we don't typically see that out of Big Ten games, but I could see this. Like I will say this, been a lot of love for Indiana this week, and kind of makes me lean a little bit towards Penn State. Like I know they don't have Micah Parsons. Now this is not a play for me.
That love is just TV love. That's not betting love, and that's not favorite love. It's 57-43 Penn State percentage wise. So it's not like everybody's piling on Penn State or Indiana. I just think that's a lot of the talking heads that are picking these things like Indiana.
You got a thought here? All over?
I like Indiana, and I like Indiana on the money line as well.
Ooh. This part of your round robin?
Yeah.
I can get down with it.
I mean, you got to take dogs in these things, right? That's all I do is take dogs and money lines. And not all of them are going to cover, but some of them are going to cover. This is one I like.
Well, how about this one? Let's move into the evening slate now. And South Carolina going down to Baton Rouge. LSU opened a 7.5-point favorite, and then it was revealed that TJ Finley, the true freshman, will be the starting quarterback this week because Miles Brennan has a torn abdominal muscle. Those things are painful, not good. It's going to be on ESPN, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The total opened at 59.5. It's down to 55. The line itself from 7.5 down to 4.5 at most places. Obviously, shop for your line. I think you can find some 5s out there, etc. But But yeah, I like South Carolina in the spot, but this is another one of those that kind of started to feel like I'm glad I went with South Carolina last week because I felt really good about them, even though they were getting quite a bit of love last week too. They're starting to get a lot of love this week as well. I hate to be on the side of the public, but I believe the public is kind of on South Carolina here, right?
Yeah. Though the right play is now this is 48-52% South Carolina. So it's not massively on them, but some of that's LSU fandom, pretty big fan base. Casual fans don't understand. They don't think South Carolina is very good. They haven't watched them. The right play here is South Carolina, and the right play here is probably South Carolina money line. LSU's defense has not been good at all. That's a super understated way of saying that. That's the worst way I'm going to say it. South Carolina is good. South Carolina should run the football down our throat. If they were smart, they would throw it maybe 3 or 4 times, and that's it, and just pound it over and over and over again. I don't think we could stop it. So smart plays, probably South Carolina and the money line. I am morally opposed to betting against my team. If I wasn't morally opposed to that, I would bet South Carolina just to put the stink on them.
Yeah,
if I was a real hero, I'd pick South Carolina just to stink them. But
you're morally opposed. Can't do it.
I'm morally opposed to it. I don't have a lot of morals, but that's one of the ones I have.
I understand. All right, moving on. ABC's primetime game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, has got rotation 385, 386. Michigan headed to Minnesota. It's going to be 20 degrees outside. Might see some snow. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see this matchup. Michigan opened a 3-point favorite. They are now a 3.5-point favorite. And the total of 55 has gone down to 53. I think that I like the under in this game, but I will go ahead and admit I have no idea what to expect. I think that we know that Tanner Morgan, the quarterback from Minnesota, is a good quarterback, and he's got Rashad Bateman. He's got some dudes. However, PJ Fleck came out earlier this week, said that they are going to have some guys out because of COVID issues this week. They are not listing who is out. We have no idea who it is right now. So that kind of terrifies me. I don't know what to make of Joe Milton, the Michigan quarterback, first quarterback that has started at Michigan that Harbaugh himself recruited. So that's kind of a big deal. Big guy, 6'5", 250 or 245 pounds, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a big kid.
He's a massive dude, and
it's a different kind of quarterback that Harbaugh has ever had at Michigan.
All the reviews on the kid are that he has absolutely lit it up in practice, that he beat out Dylan McCaffrey, and that's why McCaffrey transferred, and blah, 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 blah. So Tyler Slaughter jumps in on YouTube and said, "New viewer, y'all won me some money last week. Let's do it again." Hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel, my brother. There we go.
Must have been hitting on Gary's picks.
Bro Dibble said this game is incredibly hard to bet. Yes, It is, because I don't know what to make of either team. My play on this, if I'm going to bet it, which once it gets to be about 7 p.m. Eastern or whatever, I'm probably going to put something on it. My play is going to be on the under. I think this is going to be a nasty kind of slog them out game because it's going to be cold and these teams are going to be filling each other out. Now, I know that we've talked about pandemic football, the defenses do not have the advantage right now.
Yeah.
But that's the way that I think these two head coaches are going to play it, especially early, because this game does mean a lot to both of them.
I don't know about that. I think PJ Fleck is going to come out and he's going to throw haymakers early. And now, if he doesn't hit those haymakers, I could see him getting very reserved after that. But I disagree. I think PJ Fleck is a gambler, and he is going to start this game off maybe bringing the safeties in a little bit with a couple of runs and then booming the top off the defense.
You might be right about that. You might be right about that. Let's dive into right quick the ACC game here. That would be Virginia and Miami. Rotation 329, 330. Open Miami minus 10.5 with a total of 59.5. That is out to Miami minus 13.5. I think that's the right direction. And a total of 53.5. That total has gone down. Virginia's offense right now, I don't trust it at all. And Miami has shown a propensity to be a little conservative once they get a lead in some of these ACC matchups. I mean, they did it against Pitt last week. That's just the kind of team that Miami's got right now. So they like running the football. They will run the clock out on you. That is how this team operates currently. I like the line direction in both spots. I think the line has gotten to a point where I don't feel great about it. Miami under 2 touchdowns, I'm okay with. So I'd probably roll with that. But some of these are like perfect teaser opportunities. Like
I agree.
Roll with Miami in that spot -6.5 because I don't think Virginia can score enough to keep up with them. So I'm all over Miami there.
It wouldn't shock me if we get a couple of Miami defensive scores.
Yeah, you got that right. Like a Virginia,
that defense is really good,
and Virginia's struggling right now.
Yeah,
so
well,
they got problems.
If we don't get defensive scores, we'll get short fields to where the offense is only going 20, 30 yards instead of 75 yards.
Yes, you are correct. And then finally, last game before we get into a little Q&A, we'll give you like our best bets and all that good stuff before we let you get out of here before the game start. Cincinnati SMU, game of the night, I think. 347, 348. This one's at 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. Opened Cincinnati -1.5 with a total of 57. It is now SMU -2.5. So it has completely flipped the favorite with a total of 57. So we got 56.5 on the board at a lot of spots. I see a couple of 57s now. 50-50 split as far as bets go. This game has got me a little perplexed. You're all over Cincinnati here.
Love the Bearcats. Love them.
SMU is really good at home, but this is a styles make fights kind of thing, like we talked about with Cincy and Tulsa last week. I think Cincinnati's probably the better team here.
Love this team. Love Cincinnati. And I love the defense. And I talk about how this defense is built like a Big Ten defense. Okay. How they are big and nasty and athletic in the front seven in the trenches, and they also have some ball hawking secondary guys that are going to go up and take the ball away. They're going to cover these fast, super athletic wide receivers. They're going to give them fits all night long. But on the other side of that ball, Cincinnati's offense ain't no joke. This is a big offensive line that's going to push people around, and I think they're going to run the football down their throat.
Yeah, I think
I
you're right.
love Cincinnati in this. I mean, the closer we get to it, the better I feel about it.
Do you have any favorite bets for this morning?
So if you had to ask me what are my 3 favorite picks, my 3 favorite picks are Ohio State plus any number -35 or minus any number -30. It didn't matter. Just the number's not going to get big enough for me to get scared off of that game. Marshall -17 I got and I like, and Cincinnati +2.5. Those are my favorite picks of the day.
Here are my favorite picks for the day. I'm going to take the over in the Coastal Carolina game. I'm taking the over in Virginia Tech Wake Forest, and I've got Bama -13 first half line because I think they're going to come out and destroy Tennessee early. Also, Oklahoma State -2.5. Had somebody jump in with give me some teaser plays. My teaser from the other day was Syracuse +53, Ohio State -19.5, Kansas State -13.5, Virginia Tech -3. All those lines have shifted though, but I'm doing a 7-point teaser on Syracuse, Ohio State, Kansas State, Virginia Tech. So 7-point teaser, 4 teams +200, pretty good payout. I like those, and I still like this morning.
One person earlier asked about the Florida State Louisville over under. I kind of think that number is right where it is now. Early on, it opened at 57.5. Didn't think that was enough points. It's now up to 62.5, 63 at a couple places. You can find a 61, but now I think the number's kind of where I think it probably needs to be. So I'm staying away from that. I liked 57.5 over early, but you're not finding that anymore.
Just had somebody jump in and say that the Coastal Carolina quarterback is out.
Woo, that's news.
Hold on, I'm looking.
I'm really glad I like that Georgia State number.
I do not see
any of that
information, so I don't want to give out bad info, and I'm not saying that he's wrong, but let's see, Coastal Carolina.
Well, you got 15 minutes till game time. So if you're watching the pregame, you should be able to find out pretty quickly and get some action in.
Here we go. Number 25, Coastal Carolina, minus injured starting quarterback McCall. Coastal will play its first game as a ranked team without starting quarterback Grayson McCall.
And that line has jumped down to 2.5 at many, many places since we started.
They announced it just while we were talking.
Yep. So some places still have it at 4. Some places still have it at 3.5. So if you like Georgia Southern to begin with, which I did to begin with, then you can get on that. 2.5 is where it's moved to at a lot of places.
I would like to change my answer on the over, I think.
Oh, no, yeah. 100% I would be careful about the over.
I've still got my money on it. I can't get my bet back.
Oh, you can't back out now. Yeah, you're in.
Yep, I'm already in. But
in for a penny, in for a pound, baby. Wow. You just gotta hope.
What a bunch of mess that is. Great.
This is the world of COVID that we know. Now I don't even know that he's out for COVID reasons. I'm sure it's something else. But this is what 2020 football is going to look like. All of these bets are all complete gambles because up till game time, 15 minutes before kickoff, major pieces of the puzzle can fall out.
Army's quarterback Christian Anderson is not even listed on the depth chart for this week.
Oh, then I would not take the Army Mercer play anymore. I don't know enough about that Army team or Mercer. I just think that team is notorious for beating the hell out of bad teams and struggling against good ones. So,
yep,
they're never going to play a game within 7 points. All right, it's going to be 20 points one way or the other.
Let's see. Sean Shivers from Auburn, ready to go this weekend. That's good. Jalen Brooks. Let's see. South Carolina. Let's see. He's expected to play Saturday, so that's good.
So somebody asked about the Auburn Ole Miss over under. They said 73 seems a little high. Man, I don't think there's a number high enough in that game that I would take the under. But I've been bad at this. So.
By the way. Sorry about that. I didn't give out Liberty. Liberty, even at minus 13, minus 14, I still feel good about it. Scotty Hazel is out.
Yeah.
All over Liberty on that one. So
couldn't agree more. I'm now super on the Liberty play as soon as the quarterback went down. Southern Miss is playing without their quarterback. They're on their third head coach in 4 games. They're going to struggle to look like a cohesive football team, and Hugh Freeze is coaching for big money next year.
Jared Schrader said, Gary, what's your opinion on Florida Atlantic Marshall game? I took FAU plus 17. Look, these Marshall lines are getting to be a little ridiculous, kind of like the BYU lines, but I still like Marshall. Like the analytics would tell you to take FAU. I just can't do it. I don't think Willie Taggart has got that thing rolling yet. They lost a ton of guys. I don't trust FAU right now.
It's a lot of points for a guy who watches Marshall a lot. Listen, it's a lot of points, and Marshall is undefeated against the spread, which means at some point in time the books are going to get that going the other way. I understand that. My issue is this, and this is some flawed logic. Understand, Marshall's played 2 teams that are substantially better than FAU. The last 2 weeks beat them both by 17 pretty easily. I just think they are just rolling people. And until they find somebody they don't roll, I'm riding this horse until she bucks me.
That makes perfect sense. Moneyline Global jumped in and said, that's why you wait. Yeah. Look, I understand waiting until Saturday morning to bet on your games. But at that point, you can also miss some of these lines. You're going to have injuries pop up here and there. It's just how you want to spend your money. Do you want to wait?
But that luck can go the other way too. I was on Georgia State early. Okay. And so now I've got a great number on Georgia State. Like I didn't give them out as one of my picks, but I got a ticket with them +4.
Georgia Southern.
Sorry, not Georgia State. I keep saying that. Georgia Southern. So that luck can go both ways as well. So
yeah, you're right about that. Jared Schrader said, "Thanks guys for the analysis."
We got to get out of here. We're getting to game time.
Yeah, we're getting close to game time. So everybody go in, make your bets. Make sure you like this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Of course, share the show out. Hank said, y'all need a Friday night show. Please, Gary. Closing line is so early for us West Coast folks. Man, I don't know.
Friday night would be better for, I think, both of us, baby. We don't have social lives anymore.
Yeah, no, Friday nights, we're just sitting around watching whatever game's on. So we can talk about this. We'll figure something out. Let's see. Casey, I've got Coastal money line. I still think they pull it out. Hey, they might. You never know about these things. You never know.
They could still easily win the football game.
Go to sbrpick.com. sportsbook.com/NCAAF. Bro, Devil's cracking me up with the Q's money line. Yes, SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. Go and search for your lines over there. You can make sure and look at shop the lines over there. Do all that good stuff. We got great content. All the wonderful crew that we've got. Thank you to those guys for making us look good, sound good, all of that wonderful stuff. You guys that have jumped in the chat, you drive the show. We appreciate you guys jumping in with all your comments and your picks and whatnot. Leave your picks down below in the actual comment section. We want to know what your edges are for the day. We got games all day long. We'll be coming back to check in, all that good stuff. Don't forget, if we didn't hit a game for you and it's later on this afternoon or whatever, we're on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And we will reach back out to you anytime you ask us a question. Our DMs are open, or you can just tweet at us, whatever you want to do. Make sure you follow us, and we will respond with our opinion on whatever's going on. So make sure you like the video, subscribe, share the show out, all that wonderful stuff. And we are going to go ahead and let you guys get out of here and get your bets in. Chris, anything else we need to hit?
Oh, man, that's it, brother.
That is it. All right. For sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you all again on Monday.